That is a lot of volume. All right, good morning, everyone. Think I'm live. It's always hard to tell with YouTube for some strange reason. Shouldn't be, but it is. All right, Tesla's up a little bit again here. Today as the really craziness continues. LK also really super crazy here. Up massive amounts. Looks like it's doing okay too. Nasdaq holding high so far. Not going up or down. Winnebago. Oh, launched yesterday. And today already very easily breaking out of its the hell? Hey, morning, Justin. Buy Bitcoin. Um, yeah, you can. We've moved back into the uptrend. It sucks. I almost did a public video before the breakout yesterday, and I should have. I got a little distracted and working and stuff. But Bitcoin's the least of your concern. I mean, BSV up 36%. You got Litecoin up 15%. Dash up 22%. We were all over Dash in the power hour yesterday. All over Dash. Bitcoin Cash up 25%. Talked a lot about Bitcoin Cash, BSV. The setups were there the past couple of days for this rally, and we've continued the rally, and Bitcoin participating is pretty big, so it's pretty good, but you're outperforming in a lot of other asset classes, so which is really good, for crypto. Crypto's in a good spot right now. We might maybe finally turn the tide into a more normalized bull market. Ethereum Classic has been just been on fire. We've been following this thing all the way up, and yeah, we do a lot of good work in the power hour, so get in there if you can. Yeah, we were all over all of these. You're a little late to the game right now. Bitcoin is probably, up the least, only 7%. Like I said, you got these others up a bunch more. So, yeah, a little disappointing. All the ones that we were following uh, really worked out really well. Really worked out well. Even Litecoin, which I was a little more bearish on than most of them, came back and did really well. So, pretty good there. What's up, Rob? Good morning, my friend. Market's doing pretty good here too. Yesterday was a good day. Rolled up in more normal volume, so our volume is drifting away slightly um, out of some kind of New Year's. See the low volume at the end of the year, then you have it. They kind of make up for it at the beginning of the year here, and here we are. Maybe going to get back to more normalized action. We're seeing if 3, 4, 5 red days this year, even though we're kind of easily edging up. Yes, yesterday was a good day for a lot of stocks. We got to see today if we're going to give any of that up. Looking at Carvana, see if that's going to come back. But yeah, the question is, are we going to give any of it up? Let's take a look at the big uns. Apple being one of the biggest big uns. What's Apple's market cap right now? I'm going to go to FinViz on my other screen here. I'm going to look up market caps is what I'm going to look up. Apple, $1.386 trillion. Microsoft, $1.251 trillion. Google, just under $1 trillion, 986. Amazon, 946. Facebook, 633. There's a big difference between the big three and then Facebook, which is kind of the laggard of the group here of the big ends. Let's go look at them real quick. It's pretty interesting. So you got 1.3, almost 1.4 trillion, 1.25 trillion. And then you've got Google at just under a trillion. You got Amazon. I guess, oh yeah, Amazon's there. Oh, Amazon there too. I'm sorry, I missed Amazon. Amazon 950. So that's right there as well. And Facebook, Facebook 633, and then Alibaba, and then it just starts to really go downhill quickly from there. But you can see where everyone's pumping their money. It's pretty much these top stocks. There's Visa 384. I was actually looking at Tesla yesterday. It was 93 or something like that. Or 103. 102 now. Yeah, 102 at 95 billion for Tesla. So they're buying the market up, which is, which is what you want generally. We're also up pretty high. See if profit taking is in order on some of these. So Facebook coming down just a little bit. Tesla still doing good at 2.4. LK holding real strong. Okta yesterday was looking super strong coming out of the long-term trend line. And so far it's doing okay. We're not seeing a lot of pocket pivots. A little bit of stalling action, getting some high wicks up here on the daily chart, implying some selling off. So maybe we'll have a pullback here above the trend line. Let's go to the bottom, see if we can find any undercutting rallies today. Although if we do have any pullbacks, it may take more than a day or two to see them fully come to fruition here. Carvana pulling back. I've got an option in Carvana. It's going to be worthless by the time we're done. It was looking good yesterday. I needed like the rest of the days this week to go in that direction. So far, we're not doing that. AYX. Momo. Putting some loose tops this morning. Question is, you got to see if they're going to turn around. Market down 1/3%. Coop doing pretty good above the breakout point from the broadening wedge pattern. Atlassian pulling in a little bit, topping out early yesterday, and not really ever attempting to go back up. Not a very good sign right there. Massey. Twilio doing okay. Twilio, man, I had a great Twilio trade on. I entered it here like on the 13th or something when it popped its head up. Yeah, right there when it popped its head up. And then I closed it on the 2nd, right before it goes on this massive run. I'm like, I got 2 weeks left. It's not going to run that hard that fast, and it runs that hard that fast. Figures. Take-Two Interactive also in a larger long-term turnaround here. Possibility, you can see it's been acting pretty nicely for the past several months, forming a cup base right here. Down about 15%. Definitely, that actually would be a flat base if that is 15%. Looks like it's close enough. Not seeing too many potential undercuts quite yet, but yeah, right, Rob? I looked at it too. It'd be 400% on that option. Mm-hmm. Yeah, wait for 3 weeks out of 4-week option, and the last week it starts to rally the entirety of what I should have done the whole month. Of course, I have that going on right now with Carvana, and it's going in the opposite direction. Your INMD, Snap down a little bit here today. Snap getting up towards highs there. INMD looks like it's... You mean before? Oh, over here? You actually got into INMD on this breakout day. Maybe, yeah, I think it was the breakout day. This one working out pretty good here. Lots of pocket pivots here recently. Actually positive in a decently red market. So that's good for INMD. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to define some of the decisions that are made and the exact reasons why. Although I think it's important to do that. I don't really have a great way to ascertain that yet with a lot of my trades, to be honest. Let's keep going from the bottom up here. Lockheed Martin, we were looking for a breakout of that out of this little mini flag. Looks like we got that yesterday, but a pretty swift pullback this morning. The volume yesterday wasn't that great on the breakout. It was later in the afternoon here on the 5-minute chart, and it wasn't that great. So hopefully today's just a pullback, and we'll be able to go back up in LMT. GMED, not happy at the breakout point there. AAXN also not happy at its breakout point. Same with SIVB. Disney seems to be taking another step lower. And we do have a Head and Shoulders target at 130. Looks like pretty much that 137 level, 137 and a half. Maybe we'll get there, maybe we won't. It's been an interesting ride for Disney. Maybe earnings will pop them up. UI, this one could be an undercut and rally situation. I see a spike low right here. And we have undercut and rallied back through as of yesterday. Nothing majorly definitive here, but keep an eye out as this one. I don't know much about this stock, but a big move up. Now you're moving into this kind of weird pattern, low and slow. Beyond up 16%. Okay. Yeah, definitely too extended to get involved in, though. Unless you're just going to hawk that chart, unless you're just going to hawk it. ESNT, RAGN, Cena, gold. Gold looks like it's having a nice little consolidation. Not too bad here. Volume drifting off relatively quickly, and our price is remaining somewhat steady, so that's not too bad. Ain't nobody got time for that. Love it. It's hilarious. RNG working magic this morning, it looks like. Breaking out of this pattern and doing pretty well. Actually, right on my trend line there. So, 210 likely still in the cards there for RNG. This is Ring Central. Just been on a tear. 10 back in 2014. Up 18 fold. Can't argue too much with that. IPHI, Skyworks. What are you doing up here, Skyworks? So Skyworks playing in the all-time highs, not necessarily running into them, but we're here, and we're loosely breaking out. Yesterday, was that a pocket pivot? It's close. I'm not sure if it met 2.9 versus 3.1. It was not a pocket pivot, but it was pretty close. A lot of volume stepping in yesterday for Skyworks. And quite a bit of red right here as well. So a gap up and then a sell-off. Reeks a little bit of distribution. And Skyworks till February. Okay. Not doing too bad. Oh, my position's just updated. Don't you hate it when your positions are 15-minute delayed? I really hate that. So Tesla doing good. TQ's doing fine. My TRN is going to expire worthless. That really sucks. I went in a little heavy on that one too. Now it's going to go up on a dividend. I did not handle that one well. And Carvana. This one just never moved. Just never got there. My target wasn't very aggressive, and it just never did anything. Really dying down today. Not even worth salvaging. All right, INMD stalling here a little bit. Tesla's still doing good, up 3%. INS, which broke the 200-day moving average yesterday on elevated volume. So that is definitely, that shouldn't even be on here anymore. Bye-bye. Not breaking 200-period moving averages. LK on Fuego. In Fuego, on Fuego. Tesla, a lot of volume this morning, not going upwards. That may be our top. I don't know. We were looking great yesterday and then a run up this morning. Pretty decent gap up. I mean, look at this thing, got up pretty much up to 550. That's crazy. 550. It's funny, the numbers get bigger, but the percentages get smaller. So it's actually, it isn't necessarily that insane, but it's a 10% move between 500 and 550. It's like between going from 2 to 22. Basically the same thing, just with much larger numbers. All right, let's go to the global watch list real quick. Okay, so there's your Beyond Meat. I want to walk down, but I'm not going to be very, that's a lot of volume this morning. You going to give me a hug? Did you good, James?
Don't want to fight the bus.
Ethan, don't take all your cars to school. Okay. Okay, don't get them taken away.
What are these?
You're leaving. Get out of here.
What are those?
It's a candy.
I know, but what kind of candy?
Sour Punch straws.
Sour Punch straws. So the straws that you get sour out of. Bye bye, Mommy.
Have a great day.
You too.
You gonna draw at school? Good. Close the door. I'll do it. Never mind. You got your hands full. I got it. Have a good day. So I got attacked with kids. They attacked me. They attacked me. Yeah, Beyond Meat, man. That's a lot of volume this morning. It's been elevated and elevated and elevated. At some point, they'll stop getting it. I don't know when, though.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, babe. All right. So Riot, they turned themselves into a blockchain company, didn't they? Yeah. THO, actually looking pretty good out of some lows there. INS, LK, Perigo, HCC, MED. So fun. Maybe trying to come out of some lows there. They had a 1-for-5 split. Wow, they were in the dumps, weren't they? Maybe try to come back. You got a 200 period moving average catching up. Yeah, really have to look into that one to see what that's about. You don't want to get into something like that if it's not a major turnaround play. ABC managing a very multi-year downtrend here. Could be getting to the point where it wants to rally. Add this to long-term turnarounds if it's not already. Save nowhere fast. XON, a very long-term trend line. Definitely not in an uptrend on the weekly chart, though, is what I'm looking at down here at 686. Down about 90%. TZA. Winnebago doing good. Etsy fell apart. I'm not going to be able to find it again. Hey, what's up, Eli? Buy everything! Winnebago, may want to buy some Winnebago. Looks like it likes to rally when the rest of the market is not, for whatever reason. Etsy fell apart on us, and looks like Etsy could be an interesting opportunity. I can't say it's going to rocket up there towards highs, but we're trying to come out of a low area. Maybe fill a gap at worst. Glog down here. Also trying to fill a much larger gap there after finding support. Goose, no supports. Sky West, looking pretty good, actually trying to break out. That's my inverted head and shoulders. Let's get that off the weekly. Could confuse some people, including myself. And pretty tight. This one could break out. That would be a multi-year breakout as well for Sky West. That could add to the actionable list. Berg Warner, there's Sky West again. Restoration Hardware, did you find your base already? Really? That'd be weird. Oh, no, that's the 50-day. That would not be weird at all. Yesterday, came back, touched the 50-day and bounced off of it. That's actually pretty decent. Minor pivot point right there. So, best case scenario here is we probably go sideways for a bit. Maybe we're done going lower, hitting the 50-day and bouncing. ABMD still looks like it's in a downtrend, although getting some volume here recently without a lot of downward price progress is pretty encouraging. There's a stalling candle, undercut and rally right here. That would be hard to buy that yesterday. On the way back up, it would have felt a little better. You buy that on the way up. So 161.20. So yeah, right down here would have been a really nice entry point. The question is, where are you going? Well, you're already up 5%, so that's a good thing. And then, you've got a lot of gap right here to fill. So could be good for at least a pop, but a lot of price action right there. All right, INSG. Looks like I took it on the chin the other day, but stabilized. All right, transportation index, ladies and gentlemen, curling upwards in the right side of a cup pattern there. So very good on the transportation index. That definitely bodes well for indexes, which should bode well generally for the stock market. When the transports are rallying, you're in a pretty good spot. Nike all-time highs right there, 102.89, right on this candle, on this 5-minute candle actually. You look at all three windows, 102.89, 102.89, 102.89. So Nike doing good stuff. Restoration Hardware, like I said, could be finding a bottom right there. Las Vegas Sands doing pretty decent. Constellation Brand still not quite ready for a turnaround, but it's on the books still. It's just waiting. PNFP also turnaround play. Not quite ready yet. Keep finding the same stocks over and over again as they move around percentage-wise on my list. Sherwin-Williams actually in a bit of a base. Yeah, that definitely is a base. It's going to be a flat base because this is a stock that generally doesn't have very large pullbacks at all. I mean, this was in the bear market. Other than that, you got nice orderly pullbacks. This is another one of those. So when this breaks out of this thing, this has to go on the actionable list. Just has to. So let's take a look at the daily and see what may be what. So we have moving averages converging here. There's a break of the 50-day on. It's not super elevated volume, so I'm not too mad at it, but we're trying to come back. That's good. We'll see. We do have a lot of volume down here. Notice we didn't go down very far. We actually started going up even on the red days, as odd as that is. So Sherwin-Williams in a good spot. Coming back through the 50-day moving average. So let's take a look at the weekly. So it does have a history of toying with the 50-day moving average, which is the 10-week moving average on the weekly chart. Does undercut it for short periods of time. So there's nothing out of the ordinary for Sherwin-Williams, but respecting this 40-week moving average or the 200-period moving average puts it in one of these situations, which means it's in the middle of a larger run. You see right there, it came down, undercut the 10-week, didn't quite get to the 40-week, in which case here we're greatly above it if we break out soon. NASDAQ rolling over again. It was 1/3%. Now it's back over 0.5%. Kiwi looking like it may want to take another leg. LPLA. There you go. Las Vegas Sands. How's Twitter doing if I can ever go find it again? Not very good. Not very good. Huge gap down on the last earnings report, and we're just barely getting back into the gap. Never did quite get going again. When this thing finally goes, at some point it will. It'll go at some point. It should be pretty big. Hopefully they have their act together by then. Norfolk. I never know how to say that. Norfolk Southern. Warren Buffett bought a bunch of this company, I think last year. 2018. Today, this is 2020. Not doing too bad. Starbucks. Ooh, breaking that trend line. Maybe we bring Starbucks back. Support of the 200-day moving average right there. I don't walk down this list often enough. We talked about this a couple of months ago, actually, about keeping an eye on it, and I never did continue to keep an eye on it. Moving averages got really tight right there. Now we're seeing some moving average expansion. Yeah, moving average expansion breaking through this longer term trend line. Right about there. That's the real trend line. So our volumes aren't very great down here. It's hard to get a beat on Starbucks without good volumes. But so far, pretty good for Starbucks. That could be not quite a long-term turnaround play. It's only been in base for about 6 months, but Stitch Fix, Procter and Gamble. Look at that on the weekly. 2018 almost straight up into this consolidation. A very interesting consolidation too. It's like an ascending triangle on top of a weird looking flagpole. It isn't quite a flagpole. Man, this thing is just steady. If this thing starts to go, number one, I'm not sure that'd be good for growth stocks. Procter & Gamble, I believe, is seen as more of a defensive play. I don't know, I kind of want to keep an eye on it. If this thing starts to rally, it could be pretty good. So there's a base down there. Got up to 30% before forming another base. But it basically has that trend line. I wonder if it's going to do the very similar thing. Look at how straight that frickin' thing is. That's crazy. That puts you up at, let's look at that one for P&G. I guarantee this is going to be a good one. All right, PG. This full measured move is going to be crazy. Just crazy. Ah, come on. There we go. Yeah, 150. Seems out of this world, doesn't it? 153 by 153 by late August. Oh, they don't have late August. So till January, if it gets to 153, looking at 306, 306%. That gives it to January, but things are going to get weird before the election for sure, so you don't want to let it play out that long. But that gives you a lot of extra time for 300%. Other than that, it has July, which is 1,600%, which I don't think that's going to happen. That'd be July 17th, right here. That's way too aggressive. 1,600%. That's insane. But when you get these big ones that don't move super fast, and you get them out of a base, it reduces the volatility on the options. So you can have like some really, really good moves out of these. It's just you got to take that January for 300 though. You can't expect 1,600%. That's crazy. Too much. Now the other thing to look at too is out of here, it's not going to do that measured move right to there. If you're to move it to log scale, there we go. That's going to, well, that's, so let's take that target. Maybe that's a little more realistic. That's going to be basically 150, so 148. Same target though, same time frame. That's 567%. It's amazing what $4 makes in an option. Interesting opportunity though, with a nice base out of Procter and Gamble. Yeah, you get bases in some of these big ends that are kind of sleepy, and options market's crazy. So that's actually an interesting one. I would probably, so 126 is the high. Even if so there's an option here where the 126.80 is your break-even point. That's still 126%. That's pretty good. And if that does it quicker, then you'll get more. So that's not bad. I'd rather take the 120 for 219. That's crazy. 133. That's feasible. All right, just going to watch that one, see what happens. All right, XON. CDW, straight up. Let me get this off log. There we go. ABBV. Eli Lilly. This was the one the other day that I was talking about crazy volumes, and I didn't know. I couldn't remember it. This was it right here. Eli Lilly. Remember this? I'm sure everybody remembers this. Look at that crazy ass volume. And then it tops out after the volume. So weird. Just so weird. TDG off to the, just gone. A lot of these stocks are just gone. Fortinet, maintaining its elevated status for sure. Beautiful moves. Square, we were looking at this one yesterday. This is, which one, Rob? TSM. Look at that multi-year breakout right there. Screw me. Gotta love those multi-year breakouts, man. A lot of these things really just run through the roof. I think what everyone's missing is everyone's looking for normal cup and handles, but it's those multi-year, Eli Lilly, okay. It's those multi-years that really, really rally through. CRISPR here is also a large cup base. That's going to be a multi-year high as well. That should go on my actionable list. Quit jumping around. Yes, everything's jumping around so much down here. What? Ferrari. That's pretty good. Remember Ferrari IPO, this thing wouldn't stop. Just wouldn't stop, then goes on to form a double bottom base. And now you got a smaller base here. Kind of an odd one. Maybe loosely considered a base on base pattern. I say loosely because it didn't move very far. There's really no volume here too. I think everyone's just buying Ferrari and just believing it. They're trying to get on the board so they can have free Ferraris. That's not true. Come on. Let me draw a freaking line here. Stupid program. Yeah, so there's your high. Aston Martin chart? No. Are they, they're not U.S., are they? Just, well, I know they're based in, Well, these car companies get thrown around so much. I know Aston Martin. I know Jaguar has been thrown around like a rag doll. I'm not sure about Aston Martin. I think it has been too, right along with them, if I'm not mistaken. Very poor. Yeah, well, that's because their cars look cool but kind of suck. I don't know. Ferrari's in an interesting spot though. Um, just barely breaking out right here on this daily chart. I would almost consider this a high flag for this cup pattern. It could also be considered another double bottom, in which case we've tested this level here a couple of times and it's held really nicely. So there's definitely support here for Ferrari. So I would come on, give me zero, you piece of garbage. If only Thinkorswim gave me a controlled drag so I can get a horizontal line, that would make my day. That would make my day. 1700 to 455, that's not very good. You could have shorted that and bought yourself an Aston Martin. All right, so Nasdaq bouncing back up to only down about 1/3%, so that's pretty good. Getting some support. C-Trip, is that oh, it's PayPal. This is, I believe, is on our actionable list, making the right side of this cup here, this much larger cup pattern. So I'd say buyback, or probably buyable on pullbacks, which we don't really have much of right now. O'Reilly Auto Parts, right up there with Sherman-Williams in terms of one of the more stable stocks in terms of rallying. Netflix multi-year turnaround opportunity here. Whenever it decides to break, I'll just wait for that. ZTS. Cena. That one broke a very long, look at that, going back to 2015. So look at 1, 2, 3, basically 4 years of a base here, and then a huge rally right there. 100%. Was not ready for that one. That's not a, I guess it's, yeah, I don't usually look for setups like that have full round trips. This isn't crypto. Apple coming down 0.4%. That's pretty rare. Buy it. Atlassian coming down just a little bit. Stalling out yesterday on really no volume. That was the lowest volume. This topping candle. Oh, okay, it's this green. Oh, this was a green bar anyways. What are they talking about? Damn candlesticks messing me up again. All right, I got to get out of here. It's 8:13. But rocking down the charts today. Market looking manageable. I see not too much frothiness. I mean, obviously there's some things that are extended. Nasdaq's back down to almost a quarter, so trying to pull back a little bit there. MJ's yesterday had a pretty large day, actually. Tilray had a pocket pivot. We haven't talked about these at all. We haven't run across them yet. They must be all having red days today, but these MJs, someone's eating them little by little. It's not, they didn't start off rallying. I'm not sure if they're gonna. Are they down here at the bottom? They are. There's Cron. Oh, Carvana giving up all the gains from yesterday. What the fudge? Such garbage. Ooh, INMD coming down pretty aggressive this morning. Oh, that sucks. That's going to wipe out most of my gains. Yeah, basically flat right now. May just exit. I don't like that at all. You don't find enough available shares of this security. How do you not find available shares? It's a stock that I own that I hit sell on that you told me I own 30 of. I shouldn't have any open orders, should I? I do. I do have a stop. I wonder if I should just let it run. Oh, shit. Today's Tuesday. All right, guys. I got to go. Today's trash day. I got to make sure all the trash is taken out. All right, guys. Have a good day. I will see you tomorrow. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.